What's going on? We back with another video talking about Jermall Charlo, versus the field at 160 pounds. He's ready to enter the 160-pound ranks. Sounds like he's going to fight Heiland, who's been a long-term mandatory number one contender for Gennady Golovkin's WBC belt. I think he's from Argentina, and it sounds like they're gonna fight the Brooklyn Barclay Arena on probably the summer's biggest boxing card or event. Adrian Broner, Mikey Garcia also has Leo Santa Cruz on the undercard, it sounds like, and potentially Devin Alexander, Luis Collazo, even though Collazo is now being considered for the Errol Spence fight in Dallas in September. And shout out to Kevin Durant for snatching the throne from LeBron last night. Just off topic for a minute. People was, it was nothing wrong with LeBron went to Miami and formed the team. These people pointing about the record that he did have, that they had before, but he brought an army over there with him. Wade was injured that season. Nobody batted an eye. Kevin Durant made a decision for his career, and now it's an issue. And shout out to him, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond for overthrowing the king, the so-called king, being about to get swept again. So shout out to them. And and also, fucking this video, man. Shout out to everybody in the YouTube YTBC, man. Seeing some beefing between some YouTubers, like a big ass beef convention over some, some unacceptable shit, man. That's why I just stay to mine, stick to mine, just mind my own and collab with the niggas that I came up with. So, because motherfuckers out here, some of these niggas are just real life nerds. And they're having a cool kid moment behind the camera. But you meet most of these guys in real life, I bet you it don't add up to what they dishing out on their channel. So shout out to everybody that's doing it and keeping it real. And shout out to everybody that's doing it and that's perpetrating. But Jermall Charlo, man, a lot of people, it's either boom or bust with him when it comes to people talking about his potential at 160. Some people go like, be like, oh, he ain't gonna be shit, and some other people is very high on him, and I'm one of the guys that's very high on him for the simple fact that I see the potential, I see the growth. This is a guy that was fighting easy competition going up to what his championship fight was, the 18-19 fight. I think him and his brother turned pro like 18-19. Jermall, the ones that's still at 154 pounds, he was the one fighting all the hard ones. I think Demetrius Hobson, Gabriel Rosado, Vander Monterosian. And we thought, me and boy Spook had a CBT, shout out to Classical Boxing Talk. We thought that, Charlo, that Jermall Charlo would get the, that's what Derek James, now trainer Errol Spence, would get the title shot first. And somehow Jermall Charlo, who hadn't fought a damn soul, got the title shot, knocked out K9. And then from history that, like I talk about it, when guys get title shots, they're hungry, but it's not that they complacent. They're really, really great guys and good guys and potentially great guys. They take off from that. Their confidence boost up and their skill level just go to another level, and Jermall Charlo just happened to be that. He probably would have stayed at 154 pounds if those guys will fight each other, but everybody's ducking each other. And that's just the narrative of that division. Nobody's, want to fight. They're playing Ring Around the Rosie and shit. And that's just real talk. But at the end of the day, he going to 160. I don't see anybody that's his equal, at 160 if he hits his potential, and that's a if. Truly, that's an if. I can't come out here and tell you that this kid is going to be this, be that. I haven't even seen him at fight at 160, but he's a big kid. His brother's a big kid, but he's a big kid. I think he's somewhere about 6'1", 6'2", long arms. So, good feet work. And the difference is that he's really a mix. What his brother's trying to become. He was the more aggressive one, Jermall was. His brother was the more boxer, defensive counter puncher. Now you see Jermall starting to become more of a defensive boxer. Sliding punches, countering. He's kind of, bringing his game full circle. And so did his brother. Now his brother's becoming offensive Jermall and starting to put his counter punching, his footwork, and his defensive wizardry. And mixing it with some good offensive punching power and starting to get knockouts now and become more aggressive. So both of these guys are starting to become well-rounded. And their issue with anybody, he was on Instagram, and shout out to Mazuma TV. He caught that. He reported that, And, you know, he's on Instagram talking about fuck Philly fighters, you know, because J-Rock was talking a lot of noise, Julian Williams, leading to their fight because he had an eye surgery. He got a medical clearance from extension from the IBF, and people saw like he was ducking J-Rock, and I was one of those guys thought he was ducking J-Rock because I thought J-Rock potentially could have beat him. I thought that was a 50-50 pick'em fight, and he made it look easy. So we live from the port, so somebody driving by. But just like trying to enjoy good weather in the morning. But you know, he has the potential to beat any of these guys, to be honest. And you know, one of the debates that I've been in a high debate with is about Danny Jacobs, and people just so high on Danny Jacobs after he competed with Triple G. However you look at it, he came up short. He competed, but before that, his claim to fame was knocking out Peter Quillen, and before that, he had his claim to fame was getting knocked out by Pirog, and breaking Sergio Mora's leg and getting knocked down by Sergio Mora. So, you know, he's in his early 30s. Charlo's 26. And at 26 years old, I'm pretty sure Jermall Charlo was head and shoulders, knees and toes above, and kneecaps above Danny Jacobs. He's just two different caliber of fighters. Danny Jacobs is a good, aggressive, strong fighter. You know, he's chinny. And I don't know about Jermall Charlo's chin at this point. I know one thing. Jermall Charlo is a better pedigree of fighter. He's been better bred. Of course, Danny Jacobs has the experience, but, you know, with Triple G and Peter Quillen being his best fight in Pirog, only 3 premier fights, he's not too far above, even in his early 30s, above a guy in his mid-20s. He's not. I think Jermall Charlo is just a better pedigree of fighter. His footwork, his punching power, his size can match up with Danny Jacobs. He can punch just as good as Jacobs, but we'll see at 160. I think he might be one of those guys who get more healthier. But, you know, Canelo, that's a good fight as well. But I think his footwork is too much for Canelo. And Golovkin, if he can take his punch, I think he's too long, and he can outbox Golovkin, all potential, but we really don't never know. We see how he looks versus Heiland.